Have this feeling, haven't felt for so long. Took a hold of me and won't let go. I've been sleeping, caught me off my guard. Cause you're in my space and now I'm so pulling towards you.
Welcome back. Good afternoon. It's not the best of days today, but it's nice and cosy in here. I've got the Truma boiler on at the moment. So, just recently, a wise man said to me, there are two types of camper vans: those that are overweight and those that haven't been weighed. I dare say there's a lot of people out there that have never had their vans weighed. I'm making this video today just to try and give people a little bit more understanding of the whole system, the weight system involved in the camper van. Now, when we first bought BJ, she was just a white Sprinter panel van, but I knew and I was conscious throughout the build that what I wanted to do was try and keep things as light as possible. So what I used for most of the, well, nearly all of the inside wood build was 9mm ply. We've got 9mm ply on the floor, but all the cupboards and doors are made from 9mm ply, because I still had in the back of my mind, if I carry on going, this van's just going to get heavier and heavier. So throughout the build, what I did was I regularly took the van to be weighed. Well, not every week or anything, but so it was kind of every 3 months that I took the van to be weighed, and I could see that BJ was gaining weight. So when we finally finished the build, I took her down to Weight Watchers for the last time. She was completely finished, although camper vans are never completely finished either. I had half a tank of fuel, and we have a 70-litre freshwater tank on board, and that was half full, so about 35 litres, which probably amounts to about 35 kilos. I think the fuel tank is a 70-litre tank. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. It's somewhere around that mark. So we took BJ for a final weight down to Weight Watchers, and with half a tank of fuel and a half a tank of fresh water, BJ weighed in with both me and Barbara in the van at 3.4 tons. Now, I estimated that had the tank been full, had the fuel tank and the water tank, and with shopping, we're going to be close to 3.5 tons. And that kind of worried me, and I thought, well, yeah, 3.5 tons, you're right on the limit every time. There needs to be something that I can do. So I looked into the possibility of upgrading the springs. I looked at the possibility of installing air ride, which I may do at some point anyway. But there must have been another way to do it. Now, I'm not sure if many of you are aware, but when these vans are manufactured, they're purposely downplated or downrated to 3.5 tons, and that's so that anybody with a normal standard UK driving licence can drive them. So when I passed my test 100 years ago, a standard UK licence allowed you to drive any vehicle up to 7.5 tons. It's called a C1. But the law changed in the 1st of January 1997, and the C1 was removed from the UK licence, which meant that anybody taking their driving test would get an ordinary licence, but they had to sit another test, a theory and practical, for the C1. And I think you may have heard this sometimes called grandad rights. It's because they consider that everybody that passed the test before 1997 would be a granddad, but it's not true, although it is, because I was a granddad on the 18th of January this year. I've got a little grandson, That's the first one. So I'm thrilled to bits, and we'll be seeing him as often as we can. Now I'm going to put the plate up, the weight plate, which is in the side of the van, in the driver's side of the van, just below the seat, and that is the weight rating plate, and I'll go through that with you now. So this is the plate on my van. What we're looking at here is the top figure. This is the only figure that you really need to be aware of. That is the total gross weight of that vehicle. So no matter what your vehicle already weighs, which is usually around about 2,200 kilos, I think, for a Sprinter, it allows you to put somewhere in the region of 1,300 kilos in weight, but you cannot go over that 3,500 kilos. Now the second figure, which you don't really need to bother about for this video, is the total train weight, which means that you can actually tow something behind you as long as you don't go over 6,300 kilos. But the main concern, or the main weight that we're bothered about, is that top figure, 3,500 kilos. The two at the bottom, where it says number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is the front axle weight, and number 2 is the rear axle weight. It's kind of the weight that that axle's allowed to hold. So you can't have more than 1,650 kilos on your front axle, and you can't have more than 2,250 kilos on your rear axle. But for this purpose and for this video, we're only bothered about that top weight of 3,500 kilos. So I got in touch with one of our friends, Sam, from the Crafty Blinders. I don't know if you know or you've seen his channel. If you haven't, go and watch him. He's got a very good, successful channel at the moment, and he's very, very good at explaining things. So I spoke to Sam on the phone, and he put me in touch with a company called Van Weight Engineering. Now this guy does this all the time. Like I say, the company's called Van Weight Engineering, and I think that the gentleman is called D. Thorne. A lovely guy. We had several emails backwards and forwards. He sent me a lot of documentation to fill in, and they do everything for you. The only thing you have to do at the end is send everything off to DVLA. So he sent me the information back, and like I say, it is a little bit technical, but basically BJ could be upplated to carry 3.9 tons, which is absolutely fantastic for us, because I just thought if the van's sitting around 3-4, that gives us an extra 500 kilos to put in, and we're never going to get anywhere near that. We probably may get to 3.7 tons, but never up to 3.9. I got all the paperwork back from him, and I sent all the information, my current logbook. I sent that to DVLA, recorded delivery, and within 3 weeks I had everything back, and the van had been reclassified. On the original logbook, the van was registered as a panel van and a light goods vehicle. So since we've done all the paperwork and conversion and sent that off to DVLA and it's come back, she's now registered as a private HGV. I'll go through the form with you, and I'll show you the documentation and where it appears on your V5, which is your logbook. So this is my original V5 document, or logbook as it's commonly known. I have omitted some details, but that's just for the purpose of this video. If you see the little box that I've highlighted in red, that's the classification of the vehicle, which classed it as a light goods vehicle. Obviously that is the bit that will change when we get the new logbook back. And this is the V5 document or logbook after we've got it back from DVLA, clearly showing where I've highlighted it is now a private HGV. That means that we can now carry up to 3.9 tons. It's highly unlikely we'll ever reach that, because like I said, when we had her weighed with us two in it and half water and half diesel, she was sitting around the 3-4 mark. But at least it gives us another 500 kilos to play with, and I would imagine that on a full trip she's not going to be weighing more than 3.7 tons, which gives us a little bit of extra space for maybe some e-scooters or anything else that we want to carry with us. Bearing in mind that when we did get her weighed, we did have a lot of things in the boot, you know, things like the table and chairs and things like that. So yeah, I can't see us ever going really above 3.7 tons, but it's given us the opportunity now to be able to put more weight in. Not that we probably will, but at least we're legal. Like I said at the beginning of this video, there's two types of vans: those that are overweight and those that have never been weighed. So I hope this video has been helpful in some way. I know it's like teaching your grandma to suck eggs with some people, because a lot of people understand the weight system of van and the van plates and things, but there'll be a lot of new people out there that don't actually understand what the figures mean. So if I can just help one person, then I've done my job with this video. So for all you new people that are just starting out in van life, or converting a van, or you know, it's your first time ever in a camper van, I hope that this information that I've just provided you will be helpful. I'm pretty sure it will. And if you do want to upgrade your van, get in touch with the guys called D Thorne, and the company's called Van Weight Engineering. I will leave a link to his website in the description below, and he also has a new facility on the website now for vloggers. So anybody that's used him, he will, if you send him a link to your channel, he will put that on his website. So yeah, like I said, it's been a journey. So whilst I've got you, I shall show you our new plate. And there you go. We can now carry 3.9 tons. So I'm going to stick this over the other one, and the job's a good one. He supplies the plate as well, by the way, so you don't have to get one printed. So there you go. That's that done. Like I say, I hope it's helped people. And don't forget, if you do like this video, give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you can. Remember, it's free, it doesn't cost you anything. It does help our channel grow. And give us a comment, you know, tell me what you think. I'll be happy to answer any questions. I'm not a professional on this at all. It's just that I wanted to find an alternative way of upplating the van to give us more weight without having to physically do anything. I mean, if it's going to carry 3.7 or 3.9 tons around, then I might consider putting new springs on or upgrading the springs. But I am going to look at air assist anyway, which is a completely different thing, just to give us a better ride, because in heavy winds it does tend to rock from side to side slightly, and that's nothing because of nothing that's happening inside, by the way. Don't get any ideas. Yeah, so with that, I'll like I say, don't forget to ring that little notification bell, and you'll get notified when we put a new video up. And like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, please subscribe, and send us a comment. I'll be happy to answer, and we always answer every comment that we get. So thank you very much for listening to this boring video. But like I said, if it helps one person, then I'll be happy. A lot of people know how this system works, but there will be a lot of people that don't. know how it works.
Have this feeling, haven't felt for so long. Took a hold of me and won't let go. I've been sleeping, caught me off my guard. 'Cause you're in my space and now